Hi, I'm Dr. Jeremy Wells. Welcome to Political Science 4327, Theories of International Politics. First, let's start with questions. If you have any general questions about the course, including tools and tracks, assignments, quizzes, content, learning modules, any general questions about the course, the chances are pretty good that someone else has the same question. So please, be sure to post those questions in the Q&A forum. That way everyone can see your question as well as the responses. Also, if you know the answer to a classmate's question, please feel free to go ahead and respond. That'll help everybody out. So remember, any general questions about the course, post those in the Q&A forum, and feel free to respond to your classmates' questions. If you have an issue with tracks, a malfunction, some work is lost, please do not contact me. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about a tracks malfunction. However, if you contact track support directly and immediately, they will be able to help you out. If you do have any questions of a personal nature or personal issue that is going to affect your participation in the course, or if you have a question about a specific grade, feel free to contact me directly. So let's start here at the home page. This is what you will see when you open up the course site in Tracks. Along the left side, you'll see all the tools that you'll need to use for this course. So let's talk about those. The first tool you'll need to use is Syllabus, and this contains three very important documents. The first is, of course, the syllabus, which has all of the important policies that you'll need, a description of all the work you'll be doing in the course, and most importantly, a list of all the due dates for all the graded assignments. So be sure to check this document frequently throughout the term, and make sure that you're keeping up with all of the graded assignments by checking them off down the list of due dates in the course schedule. The second important document is the online course Frequently Asked Questions. Be sure to read through this document and decide for yourself whether an online course is a good thing for you. Taking an online course is not necessarily more difficult or easier than taking a face-to-face class, but it is a very different learning environment. Make sure that taking an online course is right for you. The third important document is the discussion rubric. Because this is an online course, we won't be meeting face-to-face, and all of the interaction that you'll be having with your classmates will be happening in discussion forums and in meetings. The discussion rubric contains all of the important rules and guidelines and expectations that you'll need to know in order to effectively use the discussion forums. Okay, let's move on to learning modules. Now, learning modules is a very important tool because it outlines all of the assignments, both graded and ungraded, and all of the topics we'll be covering for the entire course. It's best if you go into learning modules and look at it as an outline of the entire course. So if you start with 1.0 and then move on to 1.1 using the next button and going throughout the entire course that way, you'll be staying on track. When in the learning modules you see a reading assignment, that means it's time to go read in the textbook. When you see quiz, that means it's time to go into the assessments tool, which we'll talk about in a minute. The great thing about learning modules is that when you have looked at a section and then go back to the table of contents, it'll put a check mark there so you know what you've completed and what's still to be done. So it's a great way to keep up with your progress in the course throughout the term. Now, each learning module includes an outline of that learning module. And the first section within each learning module is the objectives for that module. And now for assessments. When in a learning module you reach a section that says to go take a quiz, you'll do this in the Assessments tool. Here you'll find all the quizzes in the course. In order to take a quiz, start by clicking on the name of the quiz that you want to take. You'll see a brief introduction that has some important information about the quiz. Be sure to read all of that. And then, when you know you're ready, click Begin Assessment. Then simply go through, select your answers, and when you're done, click Submit. Again, because this is an online course, the only way we have to interact with each other is through discussion in the Forums tool. In the learning modules, when you reach a section that's labeled Discussion, you'll go to Forums, find under your group's heading that module's forum, click on that, and then you'll see a button that says Start a New Conversation. This is where you can write an original post. If you've already started a new conversation, then click on someone else's conversation, and after you've read their post, simply click Reply and type your response. Another important part of the course is the presentations that you'll be giving to the rest of your group. This will be done using meetings. If you're a group facilitator for the module, then you will need to go to Meetings, click Create Meeting, fill in all the details, be sure to add the participant, meaning all of the members of your group, set the date and time of the meeting that you and your group have arranged, and be sure to check to notify your group members. That way everyone has a reminder of when the meeting is. It is important that you attend these meetings with the rest of your group. There are no excused absences from these meetings. That's it for the Important Tracks tools. I also wanted to go over a few helpful sources for news and information for you. Starting off are a couple helpful news briefs that I use. The first is Foreign Policy Initiative's Overnight Briefs, and the other is The Skim. Both of these services send an email right to your inbox every weekday morning that has a quick summary of news highlights from the previous day. This is a quick summary of the important headlines from the last 24 hours, and it's a good way to start your day. There are also two good podcasts that I listen to. The first is the Council on Foreign Relations, The World Next Week, which gives some good analysis of upcoming headlines for the next week. The second one is Blogging Heads, Foreign Entanglements. This one usually involves a one-on-one discussion with a host and an expert on some important topic. And finally, here are some good blogs that I read. The first is EIR. Another is Political Violence at a Glance. Another one is War is Boring. And finally is The Monkey Cage, which is part of the Washington Post website, and it gives a good general overview of the political issues of the day. Okay, let's wrap up. Again, if you have any general questions about the course, post those in the Q&A and forums. If you have questions or issues with tracks, with a malfunction, contact track support directly. And if you have any questions about personal issues or about your grades, contact me, Dr. Wells.